This is a funny story about an ice cube who travels the world from South Pole to the North Pole. He will go from the, the North Pole all the way to the North Pole, the South and North. He starts here in the South Pole as an ice cube. And he goes all the way up here, and here he will melt to water. And then he will continue up. When he came up to Brazil and Africa, he started to evaporate. So he was water after the Arctic, after Antarctica, and then now he went all the way up here, and it started to get very hot because of the sun is much closer. And he formed a cloud right outside the coast of Brazil. And then he continued up again. As a cloud, he made it up to Europe. And he formed to rain cloud. And he started to rain down outside Europe and the US. And he became water form again. Then he continued as water upwards again. Now as liquid form, he came from Europe and started traveling up towards the North Pole. So he came like water. After he rained down in Europe, and he went all the way up to here again. And because it's so hot, it's so cold there, it's over freezing point. Then he freezes to ice, and he has done the Earth journey. But this little friend, he didn't like to be in the North Pole. He thought it was too cold there. He wanted to go back to Brazil because he had so much energy there, because the molecules were so separated. He had more space instead of needing to travel so close to all of the other molecules. So he turned around and he went the other direction. He went out from the North Pole, and he melted outside Greenland, and he became water. And then when he became water, he continued down back to like almost Africa's top and Brazil, or where Brazil starts. But there was a problem. When he came outside the coast of Africa, he started to evaporate. And this was bad because he didn't want to get to a cloud yet, or a gas form. But the bigger problem was that he formed into a tornado because of the warm ocean. He went from here as water, wanted to go all the way there, but he couldn't because he needed to cross the ocean. So he went like this instead, and he went like that, and here he got into a cloud, that continued down all the way here. And when he was here, he formed into a tornado. And the tornado was going on another direction. So instead of going towards Brazil, it was going back to the US. And it was starting to go here, and it went like this. And he went inland. This meant a big problem for him because he needed to find his way to the ocean again. But he found a solution. Because he was in the middle of the US, and it was very hot. It was good for him because then he evaporated over here. And he went back out again. And here, he rained down again as a cloud. And he rained down. And he became liquid form like he wanted it to be. So as liquid form, he went all the way here to the coast, and he lived happily ever after. This movie was made of Bazinga Studios. Thank you for listening.